Hello and welcome back to another episode of Town of Salem. Our name is Camille and we are the Mafioso. So this episode is largely going to be about the importance of claiming early and not just playing a very passive mafia. Passive mafias are usually mafias that lose, right? They just get outed because all the claim space gets taken up. They don't really fight for it. And they're not really casting suspicion on other people as a result, right? You need to be claiming as mafia. I really can't emphasize this enough. You have to be occupying some part of the claim space. Otherwise, jailers are going to grab you. They're going to kill you. Towns are going to ask you for your role. You're going to look suspicious because you claimed late, right? The game really works against passive mafias. And so if you want to win as a mafia, you need to be very active. And in here, we are active to a degree that actually gets the jailer to make a big mistake. Now, I don't want to down talk people. I definitely know that playing jailer is one of the more difficult roles in Town of Salem. It's easy to get things wrong. There's a lot of information that you have to process. At the same time, and I think he would admit it himself or herself. I've played with Sidoni before, and my impression is that they're not a very good jailer. That their jailer game is pretty weak. I think they're aware of it. They know that they make mistakes as jailer. And so I'm going to look to kind of exploit that, right? I know the challenges that jailers face in terms of gathering information and being able to process everything. And I know also that you really only need a couple missed kills by town in the right game, right? This is a serial killer game, as it turns out, which means we don't need to do much to take away majority from town. Town will lose majority very quickly when two people are dropping each night, right? So if we can just force one mistake at a town, if we can just force one little problem at a town, right, then we can do a lot here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to claim veteran, right? And I'm going to tell 6 all other vet claims are fake, right? My goal here is to get jailer to execute a veteran or get the next veteran claim to come up to get hung, right? Because if we can just force one mislynch, one mis-execute, one miss anything, right, then town will lose majority and we'll be able to take over the game. So here we have a problem right away. Our janitor has been found by a sheriff. The sheriff is saying that they are suspicious. And this is looking pretty bad. The guy's claiming Vigi, which is a pretty weak claim. Norseman is saying, let me shoot. Sidoni now says that he is jailer, so presumably Juan the janitor is some other important role. He did ask for TPLO, which is weird. I think jailers should be the one asking for that. Now, Grote Godot is claiming veteran. So I'm a little bit late in doing this. I should have done this earlier, but I thought that I had whispered jailer this because I thought that Juan was the jailer. I'm going to whisper to I am veteran. All other vet claims are fake. Right? I am veteran, all of the vet claims are fake. I want this guy to lynch or execute 4. Right? Ghoul says maybe there's a framer. Fine. I mean, okay. We want to enter this guy, right? We are so close to winning. If serial killer kills one more town, if we get a mislynch today, right, town will lose its majority. Town only has 9 members, right? If we can just if you kill 5 of them, then it's, right, it's 6 evils versus 4 town at that point. Jack Zarippa says get one of the vets. I vote against this vet claim, right? I am pretending to be vet. I claim vet. I claimed early. Let's see if it works. None of us get jailed. And we know that there's a witch in the game. These are the situations that are really bad for town. Serial killer game, which means they lose majority very quickly. And a witch game, which means Mafia practically has an extra member, right? So we're thinking of getting one of the escorts. But there's probably no town protects at this point, right? We've seen a lot of claims so far. This claim space looks pretty full, right? I mean, we can take Norseman out of here, but like, we decide we're just going to go after jailer. There's a decent chance that we pull it off. And obviously, if we're able to kill jailer, then we're going to pull it off. I was dominated by a witch. That probably shouldn't be happening. but things work out. So we managed to kill off the jailer. Jailor executes the rival veteran claim. I faked a vet claim, so this guy got executed. And now we're sitting pretty, right? Because we know there's a witch in the game. At this point, it is 5v5. The witch is going to side with us because it's a lot easier siding with us than it is siding with the serial killer. We have a lot more votes. We can attack people at night. We've got a lot of powers, right? Witch knows who we are, right? And so at this point, we just don't want to vote anybody up. Or if we vote anybody up, we want to make sure it just isn't us or the witch. We'll vote anybody up who isn't us or the witch. We dodge a bodyguard here, which is real nice. Apparently bodyguard was not on Jailor. Sometimes that happens. If people think you're a weak jailer, occasionally they just won't be on you. They'll say it's more important that I be on somebody else, right? They're willing to take a risk that you get attacked because they want to go after other things. I would have been on the jailer. We would have traded 1 for 1 here. But that's fine because I would have gotten lynched anyways, right? If we didn't pull off the kills. Because I'm a vet claim and vet just got executed, so I whisper the witch. I say, don't vote. And let's try to find the serial killer to win, right? Now, I don't want to just out the witch. I want to out my fellow mafia, right? So I'm going to start whispering a bunch of people. I'm going to whisper some of my mafia, tell them not to vote, and I'm going to just whisper other people and just tell them random things. Just to hide the fact that I'm whispering all the evils. Right? So now we're just whispering hello to a lot of people. We're whispering don't vote to Anne. And we're just following sort of basic protocols here. It's 5v5. They don't have the numbers. There's no mayor reveal to turn things around. We have managed to pull it off, right? Serial killer game, and we got them to mislynch / execute somebody. So we're just going around saying howdy to folks. How you doing? Hi there. I'm whispering you. Are you evil? Maybe people think you're evil. We just don't want them to know who the witch is. That's the main way that we lose at this point. Because once the witch finds the serial killer for us, we're going to be good. And there's a lot of escorts to witch into people, right? And that'll confirm 2 people is not serial killers. So we're on the hunt now. Mafia are better investigators than town are a lot of the time. We have a lot more tools at our disposal here, especially with the witch. So I want to kind of kill off these escorts, though. Even though we're using them to find the serial killer, right? We don't really want these escorts double role blocking us or having some nonsense like that happen. There's not a lot of ways where we can lose this game, but that's one of them. It looks like our Godfather was attacked, or one was indeed the serial killer as suspected. Turns out, no. They were only attacked by us, so I'm presuming our Godfather got hit. Maybe the witch got hit. But we're just going to lynch somebody today. We don't really care who. And then we're going to keep going about things. 13 is Mafia, by the way. Yep, he is. I mean, also the fact that he didn't vote kind of shows. We're just going to whisper some people. Howdy. That way, when we need to whisper our mafias and witches to tell them what to do, that they have a little bit of cover. So I tell Ivy here that let's just vote up 8. We're sure that 1 is not the serial killer. I don't think that 6 is the serial killer. We're just kind of going down the list. 8 seems like a decent serial killer. We're whispering people howdy just to hide the fact that we're whispering evils. We have majority at this point. Most of our evils kind of figure it out. We're just voting people up. We want to get the serial killer out of here. There is a risk that the witch decides to side with serial killer, and if they know who Godfather is, that presents some issues because they can stop us from killing who we want. Yeah, we're just going to start plowing through towns to find define the serial killer. If this guy's town, we want to guilty him. If he's serial killer, we want to guilty him. Right? We want to extend our majority here. We don't want serial killer to be able to start attacking our members, ruin our ability to lynch people during the day. We're still whispering people howdy, just to try and cover for the fact that we're whispering evils. Town lost, GG. Is this serial killer? Is this serial killer? The answer is... This is the sheriff that found our guy suspicious. He is serial killer. Alright. Interesting. Interesting play. We almost got our Vigi lynched. But that's also part of the reason why there wasn't as hard a push on our janitor as there should have been. Because the guy didn't want to actually hang the Vigi. Right? Things would look a little bit bad for him. But this is where a lot of games come to, that when you win as evils, is that you really need to take majority away from town, and you need to know when a mislynch or a misexecute will gain you that majority. In this case, because it was a serial killer game and because there was a witch, they lost that majority very quickly, right? 2 nights go by and then they're out of majority, right? And it's really important to be able to pull it off. It's really important that you claim early, right? Put your name out there. Let people know what you are. In particular, let the jailer know what you are. You don't want to be jailed. You want to be the more legitimate claim. This is how most TK claims get themselves killed, is that they come out late, right? Granted, it's a witch game, so they want to hide a little bit, but TK claims that come out late are usually the weaker TK claims, and they get lynched. They get lynched, they get executed, they get whatever. I claimed veteran to people well before this guy claimed veteran, right? I was whispering jailer, I'm veteran, this veteran's fake. You want to put things out there. If you play a really passive game, if you're not trying to take that claim space away from town, if you're not trying to fight for your foothold on the claim space, then you're going to run into problems. And you're not going to get these sort of mislynches, misexecutes, because things are just going to be clearer, right? It's going to be easier for jailer to piece things together when half the town isn't claiming or half the people around him aren't claiming. Those are the people he's going to jail, and then you're going to give some will, and it's probably not going to be good enough, and he's going to execute you. You want to get your claim out there first, make other people look suspect, make other people besides you look like they're not talking, they're the non-claimers, they're the people who are acting weird. You want to be normal. And it's strange because a lot of people play the game very passively as towns, right? And they don't aggressively seize the claim space that's available to them as that town member. And those are the people that you're able to push suspicion onto and win games. I think that Town of Salem is a very town-sided game. Most games are won by town, I believe. Here we're being a little bit BM. We're accusing him of being a non-Italian. He doesn't even deny it. Get him out of here. But it's a pretty simple matter from here. We just start lynching and executing everybody. If we really want to be stinkers, we can vote up witch tomorrow. But most evils don't bother killing witch. Technically, witch can guarantee a win if they suspect this is going to happen to them, because they can have Godfather attack their own mafia members and make it so that the mafia can only kill people by lynching them and never has majority to lynch the witch, because there's always enough town members to stop them. Technically, you can do that, but mafia usually just go along with witch. There's not a huge reason to just dump your witch at the end of the game, even if it is so clean of a victory as this. I promote myself to Godfather. I'm still being a little bit BM here in the chat. And yeah, Juan turns out to be Lookout. Kind of a strange role to ask for a TPLO, because there's a good chance that escorts role block you, right? That's a risk that you run. And we win the game. So, again, the thing that I want to emphasize here is that it is very important as mafia that you get your claims out there early, that you don't look like a late claimer, that you don't look like a non-talker, that you don't look like a non-voter. You want to push suspicion, if possible, onto passive towns or towns like that like that veteran who might be trying to hide themselves because, as it turns out, it's a witch game, right? The truth is, you don't really get to do that. Certainly, if you don't bait, if you don't do anything to kind of confirm yourself, then you're going to be in a little bit of a rough spot. He never even had a chance to confirm himself because he was jailed night one, so rough game for him. And that's part of the reason probably why he didn't come out publicly. He had already claimed to Jailor in jail that he was a veteran. But me voluntarily coming out, like out of my own volition, I wasn't jailed, no one cast suspicion on me, me coming out to the jailer and saying, I'm veteran, all vet claims are fake, without even knowing that there's another vet claim out there, that looks legit. That looks honest. That's the sort of thing that can push suspicion onto a town and get you that one extra execution, lynch, or whatever that you need to seize majority away from town. All right, enough of tooting my own horn and bragging. Game was pretty straightforward. Just want to emphasize, don't play passively. Don't play passively. It's the number one way that evils lose. Got to be aggressive in taking your claim space. And that's it. All right, see you next episode.